Hi, I'm Catarina and I'm one of Kiwi.com's World Travel Hackers 2024. If you still don't know what it means, that means I got 10,000 euros to travel the world for 1 month this summer and tell you all about it. So now that I'm back in my room in cold Belgium, I finally decided to sit down and tell you all about my trip. Me and my boyfriend spent 1 month in Southeast Asia this summer, and we visited Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, we visited Singapore, we visited Indonesia, Thailand and China. Being that 3 of these countries, the United Arab Emirates, Singapore and China, we visited them on layovers. So we literally chose the largest layover possible and stayed over in these countries on a layover, having the time to explore them. In this video, I'm going to recap the bests and the highs of my trip. Starting in Abu Dhabi, where I visited the Zayed Grand Mosque, and I cannot tell you the last time I've been so impressed. This is what the Zayed Grand Mosque looks like, and I have to tell you, you need to add it to your bucket list right now. The architecture is just beautiful. The feeling inside is like nothing I've experienced before, and I definitely think that this is a reason to go to Abu Dhabi all on itself. Another tourist attraction that I would say it is worth a visit in Abu Dhabi is the National Aquarium of the United Arab Emirates. It is amazing. We spent more than 2 hours there. We went at night, which is also a very, very great experience, and we saw amazing animals. There are so many interactive expositions, and it's probably not your most visited touristical attraction in Abu Dhabi, but it's definitely one that was worth the visit, especially if you're going with children. When it comes to Singapore, Singapore is definitely a country that has made us fall in love with it. The contrast between the high skyscrapers and the small little local traditional houses is what impressed us the most. Singapore is so diverse. In the same hour, we attended a Buddhist ritual and a Hindu ritual, and we hadn't even planned to do so. We just walked into the temples and we were lucky enough to be there at the right time. It was amazing to experience that cultural diversity and to eat in food markets on the street, just to experience the busy environment of Singapore, and then obviously go for the famous light shows in Marina Bay and the gardens by the bay. It was amazing, and I would love to go back to Singapore in sometime soon. Our third country was Indonesia. It was my favorite by far, and even my favorite country in the world from the ones I visited. We were in Ubud in Bali. That's the city we decided to visit. They have lots of things to do. We went waterfall hunting, we went to a water ceremony in one of the temples, we've been to the monkey forest. There's just infinite activities for you to do. You are literally never bored in Bali. Then we went to the Gili Islands, which are 3 little islands by Lombok. They are amazing. Each is so different from the other, and the main activity to do there is definitely snorkeling, because if you take your own snorkeling gear, or if you rent it for literally 2.5 euros, you can snorkel 2 meters from the beach and see turtles and sharks and millions of fish. It is so impressive that there's so much life right there by the beach, and you can't see it unless you have snorkeling gear. So we definitely fell in love with the Gili Islands, and definitely somewhere we would like to go back as well. Finally, we took a flight from Bali to Labuan Bajo, which is the hub city from where the trips to Komodo National Park leave. Komodo National Park, it was a 3-day activity. We sailed around Komodo for 3 days. We swam with manta rays, we saw Komodo dragons, we hiked Padar Island, we've seen bats overfly us. It was the most amazing experience of the whole trip, and definitely another bucket list destination. From Indonesia, we went to Thailand, and if I'm being really honest, Thailand was not my favorite country, and I seriously doubt that I'll be back anytime soon. I didn't like the atmosphere. I feel like it is completely over touristical, which obviously is our fault because we are the tourists, but the environment there, it's just that they do and sell everything for the tourists, which means overpriced products and also not a very welcoming atmosphere. At least that's my experience. The first day we spent in Bangkok, we didn't really like it. It's a very messy city. Then we went to the islands, Koh Phangan and Koh Tao, and we liked the island vibe, but still, what I said before maintains. However, on our second time in Bangkok, because then we had to go back to Bangkok to fly to China, we loved the city. We had a great time. We went to the floating market. We went to see some temples. We've been to the train market as well. Then we really liked Bangkok and I would go back. And our final destination, China, has me completely in love with the country. Unfortunately, we only spent 24 hours in Shanghai because obviously it was a layover, as I said in the beginning of the video. But everything about the country made me fall in love. The people are the nicest, and most of them don't speak English, but they were so willing to communicate with us. Literally, people would even use Google Translate or communicate through hand signs. Everybody was the nicest. It's really refreshing to walk around a place where everything is new to you, because obviously I don't speak Chinese or Cantonese or Mandarin. So as I'm walking down the street, I don't understand anything around me and I'm just absorbing so much information. We also went to a food market. Food markets are my favorite thing about this whole trip. We went to a food market. We had amazing Chinese food. I loved to see how life was there and how welcoming everybody was. And unfortunately, then it was time to go home. We were on our last flight, a 14-hour flight from Shanghai to Madrid, and that was our 9th flight of the trip. And unfortunately, China was the wrap-up of the trip. We took our 14-hour flight back to Madrid. But I just got a message from Rodrigo this afternoon saying, I can't wait to travel with you again. So if you want to accompany us on our next trip, don't forget to follow Kiwi.com and me, and I'll see you on my next destination.